vital national security tool that our intelligence community relies on very heavily, is set to expire without congressional action. That tool is Section 702. 702 makes up an estimated 60% of President's daily briefing. Our government has used this tool to combat hacking and drug threats from foreign countries like China. In recent years, 702 has also put a stop to terror plots to harm Americans at home and abroad, and empowers us to take the fight overseas. As cyber threats to our critical infrastructure become more dangerous, 702 remains a valuable tool to stop these attacks before they happen. At the outset, I want to be clear about two compatible truths. First, FISA Section 702 is an essential national security and intelligence tool used to keep Americans safe. Second, constant congressional oversight and vigilance is also essential to ensure that this authority is exercised responsibly. We tried during the last authorization to ensure that the executive branch is held properly accountable, but more accountability is demanded. Our intelligence community uses Section 702 every day to protect Americans. That use is squarely in line with the government's primary responsibility to defend the American people. I've also expressed concerns about FISA's reach more broadly. I know many of us in Congress have worked hard to strike a legislative balance. Again, I say today there's still more work to be done. The Department of Justice, starting under President Biden, despite the clear language of Congress's last reauthorization, hasn't meaningfully allowed us and our staffs into the foreign intelligence surveillance courts, despite statutory mandate to do just that. So I'm astonished that the Trump administration has continued this misguided Biden-era policy. Senator Durbin and I wrote to Attorney General Bondi concerning the department's so-called procedures drafted by former Assistant Attorney General Matt Olson. We've yet to receive a meaningful response. The department can't restrict Congress from exercising our statutory oversight authority over FISA process, a process which Congress itself established in 1978. As a result, any reauthorization should demand that these procedures be revoked and that Congress, as the Article I branch, shall be able to exercise oversight authority without obstacle. Other reforms from the last reauthorization have been very successful. The querying of United States persons, while already rare, has significantly decreased, with over 100% compliance following the implementation of the most recent safeguards. Further, the more recent errors that we've seen by the FBI have been overwhelmingly clerical of that nature and not ones of bad faith. In short, Congress's reforms in 702 are making a difference. So once again, I say, however, the government's record with FISA more broadly is far from perfect. By now, we're all familiar with the FISA abuses against former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. A few details are worth clarifying here. First, the abuses against Page happened under Title I of FISA, not 702. Second, whenever we talk about FISA and Section 02, we hear a lot about warrants. When the FBI surveilled Page, the agent obtained several warrants. Now, because of my oversight work and agency reviews, we know that these warrants were invalid and didn't follow proper procedures. Because the law as it stands doesn't provide a clear remedy, the D.C. Circuit dismissed Page's lawsuit against the government. Right now, folks improperly surveilled under FISA are without recourse. United States citizens shouldn't be subject to invalid warrants to begin with, and when they are subject to those invalid warrants, there ought to be some kind of remedy. We also ought to give Congress a role in the amicus appointment process. Right now, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Courts pick their own amicus. The roster of current amicus contains some people with deeply concerning partisan ties. Amica in these courts are supposed to be a check and balance in the proceedings. As such, they need to be nonpartisan. Moreover, whistleblowers from the intelligence community shouldn't be limited to providing protected disclosures to just intelligence committees. Whether whistleblowers want to disclose classified or unclassified information, they should have the ability to speak to other congressional committees. For example, this Judiciary Committee has broad jurisdictional reach into the intelligence community, and for many years I've worked with the intelligence community whistleblowers. Making whistleblower laws even more clear is a priority. I look forward to hearing from the experts joining us today on the necessity of 702 program, as well as areas where Congress should improve transparency and oversight without frustrating the importance of FISA's purpose, which is obviously to protect the American people.